Hey guys, what's up? Happy Saturday, happy weekend. Um, I'm about to go live with my brother's gym, Blood Sweat Train. We're gonna go live with Lia. She's a head trainer there, and she's also my brother's girlfriend. And we thought it would be fun to go live and just have like a little discussion slash Q&A. So they just requested to be live. I came on a little bit early because last time I tried to go live with someone, it didn't go very well. Hey!
Hey!
It worked out this time. Well, for me, it worked out.
Did it not work out last time?
No, I was just telling them that I came on early today because I was like, I didn't know how it was going to go. When I went live with Gloveworks, it took me like 5 minutes to find them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good.
Oh,
So what's up?
not much. Just at the gym right now. We're finishing off some work since it's a Saturday, so we got our workout in. We're still closed, so
You guys just did a live, right? This morning?
Yeah, we did our 10 o'clock live. Our workout. It was fun.
Yeah.
Full body. It was a lot of shoulders, actually. It was tough.
I didn't watch it today, but I can imagine it was hard.
It was a hard one, but it's always good because then you start your Saturday off and you're fresh and ready to go. You can enjoy it. It's sunny here because we're in Canada, right? So
yeah,
summer literally just started and everyone's out there enjoying the sun. So it's, oh my gosh.
I know you guys still had snow like up until a week ago or something. It's crazy.
Yeah. It literally went directly from spring, like / winter, directly into summer. Like there was no transition time. It was winter and then sun. Which
and then the same thing always happens. The same thing always happens in the fall too. I don't know why we're talking about weather, but
I know. How's the weather in New York? Is it nice from the Canada Dry?
Yeah.
Representing from New York.
I'm seriously, I'm representing.
I love that.
You said, how is it in New York?
Yeah, I did say that. Is it nice out? Is it sunny?
Yeah, today's actually the first day that it's not nice in like 2 weeks or something. We've had really good weather.
Oh, of course. I love New York. Miss it.
I know, and like compared to where you guys are, it's always just a little bit warmer.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
So what we're gonna talk about diet. What are we gonna talk about?
Yeah, diet, fitness, health, all the good stuff. Honestly, the biggest reason why I reached out because I wanted to do this with you is because I obviously watch your channel. I love to support you and I love your message and the way that you just describe exactly like the real stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I find it's really easy for people to connect with. So specifically, I'm hoping my clients will be able to come on here and see, and then other people will be able to see that really it's just about more consistency, staying disciplined. Your job specifically requires a lot of discipline, a lot of consistency. So yeah, and I kind of want to go into why did you create your channel? What really pushed you and drove you to do it?
So I started my YouTube channel 2.5 years ago. Yeah. And I'd been playing around with doing something other than just modeling for a while. I was thinking about whether I should start a blog or whether I should do another Instagram account, because I really wanted to show more than just a picture on set or a final image from a photo shoot. I wanted to show what it's really like. And then in 1 week, I had 3 different people tell me, you should start a YouTube channel. You should start a YouTube channel. And I was like, this is wild. I just need to do it.
Yeah.
So I started vlogging on my phone. And in the beginning, it was just very, short and just trying to figure out how I would want to show this lifestyle. And now it's grown into videos about how to do castings, weight management, which is something that I struggled with for a while, but also things like confidence and body positivity and all that. So,
yeah, I love that.
Thanks.
Even getting into that, because I remember some of those, you've told some stories on your vlog specifically about some obstacles that you had to overcome. Yeah. So do you want to maybe get into those now too? Because I think those are super interesting for people to hear.
Yeah. So one of the biggest obstacles that I went through, and I've shared on my YouTube channel, this is a few years ago now, but I like struggled with my weight in the beginning.
Yeah.
And like, just a disclaimer for everyone who's on, like weight in the modeling industry is slightly different from like weight outside of the modeling industry. So we're really only talking about like 10 to 12 pounds, but like as a model and like on my frame, even like if you know what my body looks like, 10 to 12 pounds makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my main obstacle that I struggled with in my career. And like, I just went back and forth a lot from like being in great shape and then being not great shape, you know? And I just like, I had to learn how to change my behavior and like my eating patterns and like, you know, like the people that influence me, and like turn my food and my workout into a lifestyle that has longevity, you know, because this is like, it's not a career I'm going to be doing my whole life, but it is a career I'm going to be doing for a significant number of years. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be where you almost like are getting stressed out and you have to like try to cut almost right before you have a big shoot, or like you want to just be able to maintain a healthy weight and then not feel like it's like, oh my gosh, here it comes, I better start, like I can't eat much, I need to like, you know, get into this cut, instead of just literally living day to day normally, just eating something where you feel comfortable in your body and you're eating, and it's not like it's a diet. Like I think that's something that my clients have, like I actually heard one of my clients say, it was like, when is the diet over?
Right.
And like to live, oh, it's so hard to live that way, eh? Like,
yeah, it like, I think the biggest thing for me was like, I had all these like short-term goals.
Yeah.
And for me, like it was digitals at the agency, or like a bikini shoot or a lingerie shoot.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing those things on a weekly basis, so it's become like normal.
Yeah.
But before, like this was 2015, 2016. Oh my God, my dad's on. But yeah, so like you said, it's like, when is the diet over? And like the diet kind of stops when you change your perspective from like all these short-term goals, like a vacation or a cut for a show, or like you know, a photo shoot or whatever it might be, into something that is like long-term, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I think like for sure you can see results if you decide to do a cut for 2 weeks and you're like,
oh yeah, like,
and then let's go on vacation. But then as soon as you go on vacation and you go out there and you eat all the food and you drink all the drinks, you come back and you're literally back where you started, if not even farther behind.
Right.
So why not just find something that day to day works? And then you go somewhere, you go on vacation, it's like you don't have to change anything because you're in the body you're in, you're happy with it. You put on your bikini and you're just like positive. And I think especially for like girls, women, like that body positivity, like kind of like what you mentioned, is super, like it's super hard because you always have this, whether it's Instagram, whether it's like the magazines or billboards or whatever, you're just constantly surrounded by people that look a certain way. So then you think in order to be happy, you have to look that way. No. When in reality, isn't it better to just live a lifestyle that you enjoy, and then the body will kind of just come, you know?
Yeah, you have to like, you have to be the best within your body. And this is the biggest thing. This isn't like, I feel like there's so many different topics within, you know, getting your ideal physique, but it's like finding the best version of your body and what you have to work with, you know?
Exactly.
You can't just like look at a picture and be like, I want those abs, because they're not yours, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, going back to that, it's like, for me, I would have Polaroids like every 4 months or so. So then the 10 days before the Polaroids or before the digitals, whatever, I would go like super hard. And then I would schedule them for like a Friday morning. And then Friday, Saturday, I would just eat everything, because it was like, I had just like worked so hard for like that many days and like eaten so clean and so strict, you know, that after that shoot, I was like, oh my God, now I've reached my goal. I'm done. But that's not, you can't maintain that.
Yeah. And it's almost like finding, because even then it's like sometimes your genetics, like maybe you're somewhere where you can eat a lot of food. Like, I'm sure like there's people out there that can eat anything they want and they still look exactly the same.
Right.
They might not feel very good, but if
where's mine?
Oh, if you're going strictly aesthetics, those people, you're like, what the heck?
Yeah, I did not get those genes.
Yeah, so like having to be more aware, and for you, like you have a pretty extreme like where your job is literally what you look like, right? Like in order to maintain work, you need to look a certain way. Yeah. Like not everyone has that, obviously, where it's almost like a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because you consistently have something you need to maintain. Yeah. Whereas, I mean, if you have a desk job and you show up and you gain 5 pounds, no one's gonna say anything.
Yeah, nobody's gonna say anything.
Fern, get back to your desk. Yeah. If Fern's oh. I just lost you. I just got a phone call.
Oh, I was like, no. Yeah, it's so true.
Not again.
If I gain 5 pounds, maybe not, but like 10 pounds, like you said, like 10 pounds isn't that much, you know.
Yeah.
But on a smaller frame and like for a model, it's a lot.
Yeah. So what do you do to like stay motivated every day? Like obviously you have your job, but I guess for someone that doesn't have such an extreme like motivator, what would you tell, like how would you help someone in that case?
Yeah, so the career is definitely like a good motivator, obviously, because it's how I make my living, you know what I mean? It's how I make money. But I think, and this is also like person to person, but like for me, a big part of it is digestion. Like I'm very sensitive to certain foods and things like that. So in order for me to even like feel good and like maximize my energy and my productivity and like the things that I want to get out of my day, like diet is a big part of that for me. And also workout, because I think workout actually gives me energy. Like if I work out late at night, I'm like wide awake, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, that's a big part of it. I like to get the most out of my days. You know, I wake up super early just because I like want to get up and do stuff. So for me to like feel good and be the most productive and do the most, that's what I need to do. I need to eat and work out. And then the second part of that is probably just like, I think I've gotten to an age where, excuse me, did you hear that? Got a package. I hope they can get in. We'll see. The second part of that is, I think I've gotten to an age where I like really think about like long-term health. And I think about like, you know, I want to be active when I have kids. I want to like work out my whole life. You know, I want to be healthy at an old age. And I think like setting those habits and creating that lifestyle now is going to help so much as the years go on, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's bigger than just the day-to-day, the short term. It's actually looking farther ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely that. And it's bigger than like just what you look like physically as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's about how you feel. And I think that literally goes along with everything we're talking about. It's like when you restrict yourself to such a high level because you want a quick result, you don't feel good. Like like, I don't know, like I think everyone's been there where you're just so low on energy, where you're either you didn't realize you missed a meal, which is similar to like what a typical diet would be, right? Like you're not eating as much per meal. You're just starving yourself. You don't feel good doing that. So it's just finding consistency, right? Because you can consistently eat like a good amount of calories per day, or you can eat really small amounts and have 1 to 2 cheat days. But in reality, your energy levels just aren't there.
Yeah. And it's like, if you want to, I don't know, for me, if I eat too little, the cravings are so much worse. And I also can't, like, I don't have the energy to work out, you know? Yeah. So it really just like affects everything more. Like, yeah, you might lose weight quicker, but you also lose energy. Plus you have more cravings. It's like, you might as well have more calories or more carbs and like just be able to like sustain it for longer.
Yeah. Cause you eat like 3 meals per day usually, right? You're back into intermittent fasting lately. Huh? You're back into intermittent fasting lately, right?
Yeah. Literally as of like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
But to be very transparent.
Yes.
Yeah. I did fasting for a long time, and then it's kind of hard to do with work just because like we start at such random times, like we don't get to choose when we eat, you know? So, like once I started working like every day, I was like, oh, I can't do this, you know? Cause I just like, I get on set and then I can't eat until 2.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, as of recently, I'm fasting again. And yes, I'm more of a meal person. I'm not a big snacker.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like 3 meals a day.
Yeah, that's nice though, because then you feel satisfied after each meal. Everyone's
That's the
different.
thing, like, I need to feel full.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I need to feel full. I can't do the thing where it's like, oh, you eat like 1 egg and 2 carrots, you know?
and then you wait 2 hours and you have it again.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that would be good to talk about, because I saw you recently uploaded the 7 habits, right, that changed your life, like 7 healthy habits that change your life. That video I loved. So do you want to go through and maybe pick a few that were like your top, you think that really changed you the most?
Yeah. So I really wanted to make that video, but like make it stuff that was a little bit more deep. You know, I didn't want to go on there and be like, drink water, because like everybody knows you have to drink water. So healthy diet and healthy lifestyle was one of them. That's huge for me, like I said before. Another one for me is like finding an exercise that is fun and doesn't feel like a workout. So in that video, I spoke about like boxing and glove works. You know that I love glove works. So like once I found that, and once I like started doing that exercise, it didn't feel like I was forcing myself to work out. I was going because I wanted to. So like that made a big difference. Just like it feeling more of like a hobby or like a sport, rather than like being forced to like get a sweat on, you know? And then the last one, probably like doing the real self-love things, like self-reflection, self-awareness, being honest with yourself, you know? We all need to do that. Very important.
It is important, especially when it comes to, if you really want something. Like with certain people that I work with, it's like they'll come in, I'll be like, I want to lose this much weight, I want to be able to do this and this and this. But then 2 weeks later, that motivation dies down, which really, you can't maintain motivation. Every day, you're not going to wake up and be like, oh yeah, let's work out.
So hyped to go to the gym right now. Woo!
Exactly. That doesn't happen all the time. So I think what it really comes down to, and this is something that you have, and like, I don't know if your dad's still on there, he's going to love this, but like your whole family is so driven. Like, woo! So And so I think it's just so cool that, like, to meet people like you who, like, they set a goal, and it's like, no matter what, every day you work towards it. Like, I don't think people see that as much, where, it's like you see the one video, but that's what you actually do every day. Like, you don't just say, this is what I do every morning. You actually wake up at, like, most of the time, like, when this isn't going on, it's like 5 a.m. every morning. Like, you actually
every day. It doesn't fail every day. Every single day.
And there's definitely days where you roll over and you're like, oh man, really? Like, you didn't sleep well. You don't want to work out.
So this is great.
And so it's like, that's where the real discipline has to come in. And I think that's what you're talking about. Being honest with yourself is when you say you're going to do something, you do it. And that's not for anybody else but yourself. Like, you need to keep that actual promise to yourself that you're going to do it, you know?
Yeah. I think also, like, there comes a time in your life where I was lucky enough to have parents who were pretty hard on me and like strict, and like held that mirror up for me. But like once I moved out, and once I went after my career and I moved to New York, like I had to start doing that for myself, you know, especially if I wanted to like improve and do the things I said that I wanted to do. Like, you can say a lot of things, but you have to act on them for them to actually happen and for them to materialize, you know?
Exactly.
So like I had that moment probably like 3 years ago or so, probably around the time when I moved into my own apartment, when I was like, okay, if I really want to do these things, like I need to hold that mirror up for myself and be like, am I working as hard as I think I am? Am I like doing the things that I think I'm doing in my head, you know?
Exactly.
So, it's a big part of it.
And I think it's where like when you set that goal, it should be something that's always in the back of your head. It's not something where, oh, I wrote it in my journal and I got really excited about it one day because it was Sunday and tomorrow was Monday and I'm going to start tomorrow, and then you never think about it again. Like I'm sure, and I've done it too, where like maybe it's a New Year's resolution and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this every day all year. And then really it's not something I can maintain. And then you're kind of like, well, that sounded nice, but
that was something for 2 days.
So if you really want something, you need to like, even sometimes if it's something that I kind of like, it's weird, but I won't stay consistent on in certain points of the day. Like, you know, as days go on, you get tired or you're not as motivated. I'll even write sticky notes sometimes and I'll be like, remember this, like this is something that's important, right? So if it's a goal that's that important to you, it should always be there in the back of your head.
I have a whiteboard, and for my vlogs, I always put it away because it's like sometimes I have things on there that can be like misconstrued. But like I have key words that like when I see it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's like my little reminder for me, you know? So yeah, like visual reminders, like you said, are huge. And like having them around you, whether it's like on the wallpaper of your phone or like on a sticky note or whatever, you know?
Or even in the people you talk to. Like if you're surrounded by people and you go and you're like, listen.
So how's that going?
Like, exactly. Oh, the accountability for that. Like I sometimes use Ruben. He's looking at me with the eyes like, who's your accountability person? But it helps because then when you go to not do a workout one day or you sleep in and like they know you want to get up at 5 a.m. or they know you want to work out every day, they'll kind of be like, oh, I thought you were going to work out. And it's like, oh, yeah, I am working out. Damn it.
Or they'll just be like, oh, you're still in bed? Get up.
You're like, oh, crap. I know I should get up. But it's good. You just... And even if it's like now, obviously you can't see people day to day, but even if it's texting someone, calling someone, especially in those weak moments, especially like I'm sure most people in the evening when you're watching Netflix and you want to go and grab a snack.
8 p.m. Like, strikes and it's like, oh
yeah.
Now I want, you know, sweets and sugar, all the things.
Call your accountability buddy and be like, yo, I'm about to go crazy.
I'm about to go in on these cookies right now.
I'm going to call you another day from now and be like, hey.
I'm going to call you. Wait, let me just go through these comments really quick.
Let's see if we have any questions.
Let's see if we have any questions. Hi, Michael. Hi, Leon. Hi, Mom. Hi, everybody. Hi, Nick. Saying hi to everybody. We can definitely open up the floor to some questions.
So while we're talking, whoever's on, if you have any questions or you want us to elaborate on anything that we're talking about, we can go into that stuff too. We can talk all day. We
can talk all day.
I really can. For like 2 hours.
I miss your vlogs. They were the best. I'll be back in like a week. Don't worry. I'm just taking a small break. Did I tell you that?
It's just good to do that sometimes.
It's good.
Recreate the creative juices.
Get the juices flowing. It's just hard, right, in quarantine to like come up with new stuff all the time when you're not really doing new things.
You're in a beautiful city and you can't get out and do anything in there.
Can't do anything. Are you a club member? Yes, I am. Not during quarantine though. Are you? You're 5 a.m., right?
I would say 5:30. It's not 5. Ruben's a 5 a.m. clubber.
Ruben is like 4:15 and he is like I got my Instagram limit for the day.
Oh, is that what it said?
Sorry. What was the question?
No, 5 a.m. The 5 a.m. club. Ruben's up at like 4 a.m. already. He just literally jumps out of bed. He puts his phone. Actually, that's a good tip. He puts his phone outside his bedroom and sets his alarm. So he has to get up and go outside of his room and like turn it off.
That's dedication.
He's hardcore. Like I don't do that. I'm not that committed.
New Year's resolution 2020.
Exactly. Put your phone outside your bed. I think you had how to not feel overwhelmed when you are a model and have gained weight during quarantine. That's a good one.
I felt like I had 1 or 2 week period where I felt like I was a little fluffy.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was because I was eating. I don't know. I've been eating very regularly. I think it's just like lack of exercise.
Yeah. Lack of movement in general, probably.
Yeah, man. Like if you're exercising a lot and you're just very active, and then all of a sudden you're not, it makes a big difference. I don't know. I would say just like accept it for what it is and just be conscious about like the food choices you make, and like try and be active, try and go for walks with a mask on, or try and do some like workouts at home.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can speak more on this because you're actually certified and I'm not, but when you're moving less, you also need less food, correct?
Yeah. So you have something called like your basal metabolic rate, that whole scientific equation, where that's basically how much you burn. If you were to lay in bed and you couldn't move, and all you were doing is just your body was doing natural, basically like all the chemistry and things it needs to do naturally, that's how much you would burn. So then anything you do on top of that, whether it's doing a workout, getting up, walking across the room, getting a glass of water, walking back, like those all burn additional active calories, right? So I think it's good for people to learn, I think, specifically, obviously, what their basal metabolic rate is. You can do that online. Literally just look up BMR calculator, put the information in, and then you can actually, like, whether it's tracking, if you have a watch, like obviously those are the best. But if you don't, it would honestly just be trying to move as much as possible. And then typically you can actually find, like, if you work out for an hour, there's actually like an ideal amount of calories that you burn. A little bit harder, but you can do it that way.
Right.
And then you do this too, or you used to do this, and it's a great learning tool. I will tell my clients to like get on stuff like MyFitnessPal. Yeah, because then you learn what you're eating. Mm-hmm. Like if you can ideally look at your plate and say, okay, well, I know that's a carb, that's protein, that's fats, and in total, this is giving me this many calories, mm-hmm. and I know this is how many I should be eating. Then you can just learn. You don't have to do it all the time, but you know, chicken is this, like salad is this. You know, rice.
You get to that point where you know what everything is, so you don't have to like add everything into your phone. You can just do the mental.
Yeah, and we have so much time now to educate ourselves on this kind of stuff, and
this is a good time. This is a good time.
Yeah. So if we can't control the movement as much, you can't get to the gym as much as you normally do. Try to control what you're putting in your body, and try to control your mindset, I think, are the two things that you can stay on top of the most.
That's a good one. I also, to add to that, I feel like I've done those equations before, and for my age and my body weight and whatever, I've put in numbers and it'll say like, you need 2,400 calories a day. That's like, I know that I do not need that much. So I think it's also just like trial and error, and like seeing how your body reacts, like, you know, mm-hmm. maybe using a scale or like a measuring tape if you don't like the scale, and like actually paying attention to your body. Yeah. That will help you figure out like what's best for it.
Yeah, you definitely, and that's something that we talk about too. It's like you literally have to get into a lifestyle, and you have to be consistent with something for a good amount of time before you can decide if it's working or not. If you mm-hmm. eat a certain way for a month and then you're like, I'm not really changing the way I want to, or you might even gain weight, then you know, okay, I need to maybe take a little bit off my plate, and maybe not party as much on the weekend, or not drink as much if you're doing that, right? Take the little things away, or move more as well. So there's that equation where if you burn a certain amount, and then you can obviously either eat a little bit less, or you can work out a little bit more, and that mm-hmm. ends up changing the amount that you're burning. Right?
That balances it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, next one is, she says, thank you, I use MyFitnessPal sometimes. Do you believe having carbs at night makes you fat?
Do you want to answer that first, or me?
I think it depends.
Like, what do you find works for you?
I think it depends on like what kind of carbs it is, and like if you're doing it every night versus, and also like how much. Yeah.
You know? I would say it's that, and it's also the combination. So I think that when it comes to like absorption and stuff like that, if you go and you just have a carb, for example, and that's exactly where you're right, depending on the type of carb. So if you're having a sweet potato versus having chips, like they're both carbs. One has a little bit of fat in there, and one is going to absorb a lot quicker than a sweet potato would. A sweet potato has stuff like fiber, vitamins, minerals that are actually going to give you a lot more, and it's going to slow the absorption. Right? The reason absorption speed is important is because if you go in, a carb is essentially a sugar, right? Not a bad sugar. Doesn't mean like every sweet potato ends up being. Exactly. Yeah. You need it for energy. So if you go in and you say, okay, I'm either going to have a teaspoon of sugar, or am I going to have a handful of sweet potato? This is going to take a lot longer to digest, whereas this is going to spike your blood sugar, which is going to cause you to have that whoop, whoop, that kind of have that high energy to that really bad dip in energy. Did you like that?
It was a good addition. I really, really like that. Yeah.
There you go. Whereas that sweet potato is gonna go up, but then it's gonna come down nice and slow. So I think when you talk about eating carbs specifically, you either want to have a carb with a protein source or a carb with a fat source, because that's even going to help you slow the absorption level even more. So you're not having that spike and that drop, and then you're not going to kind of influence those hormones. Like, you can go on and on about it, but I would just say if you're going to have carbs at night, have it in a meal and have it with a protein, and make sure you're aware of the type of carb. So make it a sweet potato, make it, honestly, I love potatoes. Vegetables are also carbs. Make it vegetables, because those are just giving you more bang for your buck. You want some vitamins and minerals
for your buck.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. You have all the
I can talk forever. You gotta tell me to be quiet, because I'll be waiting.
No,
oh crap.
Listen.
Now?
We're being our whole selves today. Do you have any workouts you recommend doing? So, Blood Sweat Train IG Lives Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Yeah.
10 a.m. We're gonna do another live. We should do another live like next week or the week after.
Yeah. Let me know what day you want to do, because Mondays is full body, Wednesdays is lower body, Friday is upper body, and Saturday is like high intensity full body.
Okay.
So it depends on what you're feeling that day.
Maybe we could do like leg day on Wednesday or something.
Yeah, those are always fun. I love a leg day.
So yeah, Blood Sweat Train lives. I also do Glove Works. You guys already know. I love that place. They do virtual sessions, and then are you doing any other workouts?
So I love HIIT. Like, that's my favorite. I used to play soccer, so I love the go hard and like sweat it out. I like to probably work out hard for like 30 minutes every day. Like, no matter if it's like, it might not be super high intensity, but maybe some days if I feel like I need recovery, I'll have more of like, maybe I'll do core and I'll do a walk, but I always try to make it at least 30 minutes of activity, just because it makes you feel good. So even if you can go for a walk outside, that kind of stuff. But yeah, HIIT that incorporates full body. There can be weights, there can be running, but I just like to do a little bit of everything. It's really fun.
Okay. HIIT is where it's at.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're gonna skip that one. A plant-based, eating meat/chicken a few times a week diet is good to maintain weight. I mean,
can they elaborate on that one a little bit more?
Yeah, maybe come back to that.
Yeah.
Is it possible that exercises make legs bulky / more muscular? Are there any smart ways / exercises to slim them down? Thanks. Yes, Natalie.
So what do you find? Because that was something that you were kind of like battling with a little bit, right?
I feel like I have a lot of experience with it. Yeah, so it really depends on like your body type. I feel like there's some people who can, just like do all the exercises. It doesn't really affect them very much. For me, I feel like I do bulk up. I don't even know if that's the right like terminology, but I feel like I build muscle quite quickly, which like in turn can be kind of problematic for modeling, right? Yeah. Because like our measurements are so particular that if you do too much of a certain exercise, or you like gain too much muscle or like gain too much mass, like it can become a problem. Yeah. For me, cardio is a big element, high intensity stuff also, and just like not lifting crazy heavy weights. Yeah. But I think like like from what I know about like muscle building, that also has to do with diet. So because I keep good track of my diet and I don't overeat, you know, I'm not scared of like lifting weights however many times a week, or like using weights in certain workouts, because I know like I'm not eating to the point where I'm like trying to build muscle, you know?
Yeah.
What is your perspective on that?
I would say it depends again on like your genetics, like the same thing you said.
Play a big role, right?
Yeah, like for me, it's super, and I don't know if that's because I played soccer and it's like very, very mainly like leg dominated sport. So as a kid, it was like I had no choice but build bigger legs.
Yeah.
But I think even now, like not playing, I gain muscle so easily. Like I could blink and be like, whoa, like where did those come from?
Yeah.
So I can also understand this.
That one workout.
Yeah, you went that exchange, you're like, what the heck?
Yeah, so true.
I would say definitely incorporating the cardio, like you said, but it's diet, right? If you are doing something where you're doing like a split, maybe try to change that up and get into more full body exercise, incorporating like cardio exercises in a circuit. So maybe it's getting into something like doing like lightweight high rep squats right into like burpees. I know everyone hates burpees, but they're so good. They're full body, but they get your heart rate up, right? So you want to try to, like getting into burning more calories during the workouts is something that will really help you to just honestly decrease the muscle mass, but still allow you to build lean muscle.
Okay. Good tips.
You too.
All right. Maybe we could do like one more question.
Yeah.
And we can wrap it up. I feel like I've skipped a bunch. I always do this, by the way.
You go through, you're like, oops.
Could you elaborate on modeling during quarantine? I can do that in my next live. Or like about that.
There's the one person who elaborated on the plant-based diet.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
At the bottom. So with a mostly plant-based diet, can you maintain
talk about that
and still have muscle, or the muscle will go away? With mostly, so I think you said you eat chicken and some other like meat protein sometimes. I would say in order to maintain muscle, you do have to be aware. So like maybe if you're not eating as much on some days when it comes to like protein in general, like you can still have plant-based proteins. They just aren't going to be as what you'd call bioavailable. So that means if you were to have a piece of fish versus having a tofu, you could have 100 grams of protein in the chicken. And if there's 100 grams of protein in the tofu, your body will absorb like maybe 50 grams, whereas the chicken, your body would absorb maybe like 80 grams, right? So you actually take in more of that animal protein than you would the vegetable or the plant-based protein.
Why is that? How does that work?
I think it just has to do with the way that your body absorbs that kind of protein in general. Like there tends to be a lot more like fiber base. It's not as like when you say like there's something called complete and incomplete.
So you have
proteins.
To digest it more or something, and then
so it takes more for your body to digest, and there's just certain properties in that protein that humans just don't use as well as they would. Like I know it's kind of like when you think about like the paleo thing and all that, but like animal proteins is the easiest digestible for humans, which I'm not saying like that's why if you're vegan you have to eat more because the body won't absorb as much, right? If you talk about like fiber, your body doesn't really absorb insoluble fiber, it just excretes it. So it's a similar idea where you need to eat more so it actually stays in your stomach and you use it in your body. So
this is really interesting. See, you learn something new every day.
I remember learning that and I was like, what the heck? Because that makes sense.
Crazy. People don't really talk about that, at least.
So you're going through and it's like the protein quality is also really important. So if you're looking to maintain muscle, you need to make sure your protein quality is good. So if you know you're eating tofu and you're not having an animal source of protein that day, then you're going to make sure that you maybe eat a little more tofu, and that's going to maybe try to offset the amount that you're not going to absorb if you're eating fish instead. right?
Okay.
Maybe it's, if you're having a plant-based day, you maybe incorporate like a vegan shake of your choice. So then you know that you're going to be, again, not as bioavailable, but you're still going to be getting in that additional protein that's going to be just straight protein, lower carbs, right? Depending on what your goals are. So you can use those to your disposal as well.
That's a really good tip.
So totally doable, but more work.
Right. That's awesome. I love that. That's good to keep in mind, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Learn something new every day.
Learn something new every day.
So what
really
else?
Fun.
I know, this was fun. I love this.
I know. We need to do this again. We're definitely going to do another workout.
Yeah. Oh my god. The leg day. So Wednesday, do you want to do that, or do you get back to me?
Let's do Wednesday.
Yeah.
Let's do Wednesday. Yeah. So Wednesday, 10 a.m. We're gonna do a leg workout.
Awesome.
From the Blood Sweat Train account.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. Blood Sweat Train.
It's gonna be fun.
I know. Thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you for doing this for me. This was great.
Oh. I feel like I love the questions from people too, because then you get to kind of bring it in, and it's like you get to answer based on your experience, and then I get to answer based on my education. So you get like a little bit of both, like what works for you in real life, practical, and like educational, which is fun.
It's important to have both, because sometimes, like, I feel like I'm pretty educated on the food and like the names and all that stuff, but I sometimes feel like I can't speak about it just because I'm not qualified. You know, I don't want to tell someone something and then have it not work for them. So it's nice to have you, because you are qualified.
But I think it's nice too, because people really align themselves with you, because honestly, you're very personable, but you can also talk from, like, you don't tell bull crap. Can I say shit? Yeah, bullshit.
Girl,
there's no bullshit with you. I love that, because you're just like, listen, this is what works, this doesn't work, and that's just like, it's very black and white, which is good.
I never want to waste anybody's time, you know what I mean? And like, if you know how it works, you might as well just tell somebody how it is. Yeah. Rather than like make them figure it out themselves, you know? Yeah.
I love that. We'll do this again soon.
Yes. Thank you so much. I love you.
Of course. Love you too.
And I'll see you soon.
I'll see you
on Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Bye, girl. Bye.